Welcome back to Disturbing the Priest. We're here with a very, very fun special interview. I'm joined by Beth-Ami, Heavenstone, and Graham Bonnet. How's it going, guys?
G'day.
Hello, yeah.
Fabulous.
Yeah. We're always, yeah. How have you been? You been okay?
I've been all right. Thanks for checking in. I've been waiting for you to ask.
I care about it. All right.
So, we're at the end of this tour here. So we talked before the tour. Now the tour is coming to a close. So how did this tour treat you guys? How do you reflect on it so far?
Well, Beth-Ami, what do you think? It's been pretty good.
You're just going to throw it right to me, are you?
Good. No, I'm just saying.
Yeah, no, it was great. Definitely a lot of audience adulation, like a really great engagement and feedback. And people that went to our show in Sellersville are going to go to the show in Jersey tomorrow night. And people that were at Derry last night are coming here tonight. It's been good. You know, the problem is, a lot of people don't know we're playing. The promotion doesn't always reach the people, so the numbers aren't great, but the people that were there loved it, and we love them.
Mm-hmm.
It is such a shame because I feel like that's everywhere where venues will book you and then be like, all right, you're on your own now. I feel like back in the day, was it a lot different where like they really took charge?
Yeah,
in promotion?
Absolutely. And I was saying before that people don't know Graham Bonnet. They know Rainbow. They know Alcatraz. They know Michael Schenker. But we're trying to, promote me a bit more now because it's the Graham Bonnet Band, And so I think we're sort of succeeding, but we need a bit more of a crowd, don't we?
Yeah, that would be nice. I mean, I keep, having to fight the urge to post about it and say, performing tonight, Graham Bonnet in the nude, just to get people's attention.
Which always happens. Yeah.
We're always two tickets away from that.
Yeah, right?
Watch out.
But it's been very good. I mean, after the shows, it's like the things they say to us about the band itself, it's just amazing. They say, what a fucking great band. And Mr. Bonnet, how do you do it? It's like, well, but you're old. I know I'm old. Don't tell anybody. Don't tell anybody. And then I say, well, I'm 77. And when I say that on stage, I get a round of applause, don't I?
Yes.
Because I'm proud to be alive. I'm still here, folks. So it's kind of funny. But then I get the stories of how they grew up with me. When I was 10 years old, when I got you, what? How old? When I first listened to to Rainbow or whatever. So these guys are now in their 40s or something, or 50s, I suppose.
I'll have to pull all of them.
Yeah, I might have to Google it. Yeah, I'm not
we'll
quite
send
sure.
out a survey. Yeah,
but they're not quite as old as me. But it's like you go, you were just a little kid then. And yeah, I was.
Has anyone ever said I lost my virginity to Since You've Been Gone all night long?
Yeah,
I'm just curious.
That'd be problematic.
No.
Well, not
yet.
I think there are definitely some Graham songs where maybe you can set the mood.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't know who's going to be on the radio at that moment in time. I know the song I lost one.
Yeah, okay.
It was last week.
Was it the Marbles?
Not the Marbles. Oh God.
No.
It's been
a
good.
very nice, romantic song, though. Any one of those would have done.
Honestly, yeah. After a few drinks, maybe some wine, light some candles, put the Marbles on. It sounds like the tour's been going pretty good so far. There's been no Spinal Tap moments. No one's been stuck in any encasings or anything.
Do we have any Spinal Tap moments?
I don't know. I can't think of anything in particular.
We didn't get stuck in any elevators. Which
No,
has
we didn't.
happened.
No.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Nobody fell over on stage this time.
I almost did.
Yeah.
I've been sick and.
Yeah, there's been nothing really comedic about this tour, has it? Except just you and me being stupid on stage once in a while.
Yeah. Some troll made a comment today about us playing grab ass on stage, so I instantly blocked him. Of course.
It's all right.
But he's right. We have to stop. We have to keep our hands off each other.
Yeah, we do. So I come in, Mike.
If that's the worst out of the criticism, I think that's pretty good.
I mean, come on, it's just a bit of fun, And I often forget where we are, and I go, what are we doing next? What is it? What's next? Because I can't see the damn, the thing, the lineup of the songs sometimes because the lights or whatever it may be.
He announced making love last night, but he's like, oh, wrong love. It's Love's No Friend.
Yeah. I knew I was loving it somewhere. So, but
Yeah, forgetting the lyrics. You forgot the song.
Yeah. It was since you've been gone, I forgot the lyrics to that song. And how do I forget that? I don't know, because I should be able to sing that in my sleep, backwards, and whatever.
Yeah,
but I've lost it. I remember this. It was the second verse, and I've gone. Same old thing. I sang the first verse again, basically. Yeah, it was a bit silly. It's like Jerry Lewis or something, But it is hard. I forgot something yesterday, actually, on one of the songs, and I think it was a song called Imposter.
Yeah,
it was that one. Yeah, because that's one of our songs, a newer song, but I can be forgiven for that. I think. Can I?
Yeah. I think we all forgive you for that.
Okay.
Yeah. Now, do you guys have any pre-show rituals before you go on?
Tinkling 10 times.
Yeah.
80 bathroom breaks.
Yeah. I'm the worst for that because I get told, "Where's Graham?" "Oh, he's gone. He's in the he's gone again." Because it's 3 or 4 times before I go, "Yeah, I'm okay now." "Oh, wait a minute." I have to go back again. It's that little bit that's always left over. The grand finale, I'm going, "Oh God, I've got to do this again." It's a nervous thing, I guess.
It is. We all feel it.
Yeah.
Our Japanese promoter starts literally shaking when he says he's going to head to the bathroom because they are literally to the second.
Yeah.
And she'll be standing there going, "When's he going to come out?" I feel so bad for her, but she should be used to it. I mean, she's been our promoter before me, so that that's 13 years or whatever.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah.
What's been the gear you guys been using for this show? Has it been the gear you guys been using for years, or are you using a new setup for this tour?
Well, we ask for a backline, and you hope to get what you ask for, but it doesn't always turn out
You
that way.
can only hope.
I'm easy. I don't care. I really don't. As long as I can hear myself, I don't care. It's not like a guitar player but he now
He's been good.
tours with a fractal, so he's got much more control over things. And we have a new keyboard player, and he's been getting a different setup every night, but he's been okay. He's really easygoing.
Yeah.
Cool. Has there been any songs you guys have played live that bring back very personal memories? I know Graham especially.
What? Personal memories? Well, probably the Michael Schenker songs a little bit from the disaster that went on back in the days of yore when we played in Sheffield.
Could you elaborate on that?
Tell that story.
It was a strange time.
Yeah?
Yeah, because of things that went wrong with my trousers, my pants, and other things, yeah. So that was I've told the story a million times, so I don't think I need to...
Do you check your zipper every time?
I do.
You go?
Absolutely. Do you know I do? Yeah. I'm not kidding.
I've had to pull it up a couple times. I've noticed it was slipping a bit.
When you look at the crowd, when you go into that song, do you see all the eyes just go to your fly?
Yes, they do. They do. Do you know? But now I don't really have to tell the story to a lot of people. They just go, "Oh, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, we know that one."
Well, there was a guy the other day that didn't know it, so I made him tell it.
Yeah, sometimes.
Well, you have such great stories,
Well, they're sort of they're not bad. I mean, they are funny if not nothing else.
After the third time, probably.
Yeah. I mean, it's the Michael Schenker. So, oh God, no. You can read about it in Cosmo, whatever, But it's there are other things that we haven't talked about, I think. But I'll have to think about that one. New stories.
He's told me so many. Oh my God, he has so many great stories. A lot of, especially the rainbow stories.
Yeah.
Really fun. Richie Blackmore apparently was quite the prankster, and he's told me a bunch of stories about tricks he played on people.
Yeah. He used to, this place we stayed in Switzerland was a really old chateau. And what he did with a lot of the other guys, he was tying cotton to windows and stuff and pulling the handles down with his thread in the middle of the night. And he was telling them that the place is haunted. The place is bloody haunted. You've got to be really, really careful because there is an evil ghost here. And he would do this. These were the tricks he played on them. But somebody told me that one of the guys in the band told me, Richie would, he would never do that to you. I said, why? He says he respects you. he wouldn't, you know. So, thank you, Richie. I appreciate that. Until I had my hair cut, then he fucking hated me.
Yeah. And still to this day, you get your hair cut.
I mean, a haircut, come on, you know.
Yeah, you escaped through the window, right? That was the story.
We were on the 19th floor. Yeah.
Parachute.
I flew to get my haircut. That was just so ridiculous. So now Richie, I've seen him on whatever, Facebook, YouTube, or something, where he's told the story, and now it's more elaborate. It's really good now. The parts of it I don't even know. You know.
Yeah.
There was a guard on the door, holding a sword. I mean, all kinds of stuff.
He's got it time stamped too.
Yeah. In fact, I spoke to the guy who was supposed to be the guard on the door, didn't we? Recently, he lives in Florida, and I said to him, Colin Hart, his name is. I said to him, Colin, tell Beth-Ami that is not true with what he says, you know. And he said, it's got a bloody bullshit, you know. He said, he wasn't standing guard on the door. We just went out that day. There was a barber shop down the street where we were, and my hair was getting scruffy looking, you know. And when you got short hair, you have to keep it nice and neat, you know. So I said to my ex-wife, I'm just going here while you're shopping. So that's all it was. And then we came back, went back to the hotel. But next day on stage, I think I've told you this, I'm not sure. Might have done. But next day on stage, we don't see each other all day. We never saw each other. We didn't, mingle and go shopping together like the Beatles in Beatles movies or whatever. So I came on stage. Everybody was there. I'm always last on, And he looked at me, haircut, short, nice. It's really, really neat, really, yeah, And he looks across and he walked off. And he goes behind the stack, with his guitar. And I think he played probably about 5 songs behind there. He did come back.
He was
came
so
out
offended.
Later. He had to come out later, It was something where he had to join in with the band and go, do his thing. But he was in shock. And next day there was a meeting in Richie Blackmore's room, and we all had to go downstairs or upstairs or wherever it was, in the Holiday Inn in somewhere. And he said, we all walked in, and he said, I'm glad you're all here. And we're going, what is it? What's wrong? We thought somebody had been killed or something, And he just went, it's Graham's hair. And there was silence. And then everybody goes, what the fuck? And everybody cracked up,
Yeah.
Especially Cozy. I remember he went, oh, fucking hell.
You didn't realize it was the most offensive thing you can do.
Yeah. He really thought I was, doing it because he had a thing about long hair, short hair, da-da-da-da-da. Because Richie at that time was receding very well, a lot, which is a shame, and I understand that.
It happens.
It happens, I used to have long hair, but it was a thing I did, and I wasn't going to change just because I was in this band called Rainbow, where everybody had long hair,
Well, I feel like a lot of people liked you because of how authentic you were.
Yeah.
And it's like you didn't have to blend into this whole metal movement. You were you were Graham.
Yeah. I was anti whatever the hell that is, that look, But my hair was like yours. It was down here, it was down my back at one point, and what's up with that? But I sort of grew out of that. And, the punk thing happened in London. That's what turned me around a little bit. And everybody's wearing short, spiky hair or whatever. And, clothes with cuts, the pins and this ripped shirts, I guess you call them. Yeah, all that kind of thing. Everybody started to look different. I thought, what can I do? So I got my hair short already, and so I decided to have all my clothes made in the 1950s style, really 1950s. And I went to a tailor in London who actually made a suit for a guy called Bobby Darin, who was a 1950s singer. Oh, the sharks, babe, and the teeth, dear, and that guy who sang that. And he said, I've got some material here that was going to be Bobby's, but he died. And I said, okay, could you make me a suit out of that? Would that be possible? Or are you going to keep it for, whatever? And he said, no, I can do that for you. So the first suit I had made was ready for Bobby Darin. and it's kind of cool.
That's a nice fun fact right there. Wow, that's so specifically crazy.
I mean, we're going back to Bobby Darin. I mean, we're going back a long time. But I think everybody knows some of that stuff that he sang. It was great, you know. So anyway,
well, that's cool. And people today are doing kind of the same thing where like they're trying to style clothes and get clothes that were made that looks like they were from the 80s.
Yeah.
You know, exactly. So it kind of all comes around. It's every generation does it, you know.
Always. You look at old photographs of people in the 1920s and you go, wait a minute, that's but girls are wearing things like, you know, you wear sometimes, you know. But it does turn around every the fashion.
It gets recycled
come
every
back
like
all
30
the time.
years or something.
Yeah. Look at my closet, for example, because I have all vintage stuff.
I have all the clothes I wore because I've stayed the same size my entire life. So I have been from the 70s on up.
Yeah.
You know,
And it's great. It's great. You know, I love going back to that time, you know, because I remember when miniskirts came out, I was like, what the fuck? You know, it was incredible.
You looked lovely in them.
So, stop what?
I said you looked lovely in them.
I did. Thank you very much. No, but when that happened, I remember all the guys going, God, it's the best thing that's ever happened in this world. This new miniskirt thing. There's some of the girls, it's even shorter than they should be, you know, because it's mostly like 6 inches above the knee or something, but some girls went even further. You know, it was like basically a belt.
Yeah.
You know, and it was naughty, very naughty.
Well, that's like a long dress compared to the stuff coming out now.
Well, yeah, I know.
I mean, naked, you know, on the street.
Yeah.
So I want to ask about, you know, the set list. Out of the tour so far, what has been your favorite tracks to play live between the two of you?
I like Into the Night is one song. Always Lots in Hollywood. Yeah. I love that's one of my favorite oldies, if you will. And God, what else? Probably Uncle John. That's another song.
Okay, exact same. That is
really exactly.
I like Uncle John because it's a weird time signature and it's very
a weird song.
Ungainly watching people try to move to it, including me.
Yeah.
And I didn't used to like to play Into the Night, but our drummer Francis plays it so great.
Francis.
It's like it brought it back to life for me.
Yeah.
So I really like playing that one now.
I think I think Francis really enjoys that.
Yeah.
Oh, I think SOS as well. I'm not sure, but it's a great drum song, SOS, I think. I don't know why. But Uncle John, you don't like it.
No, I said I don't know why you're looking at me. And
I don't know why I'm looking at you either, but I will. It's stop it. Okay, now I was going to say something really interesting. Going to be that interesting, could it?
Yeah.
I forgot what it was.
You forgot it. Yeah.
Bloody hell. Okay.
I like playing the two Schenker songs because they have like a little bass solo in them, you know. So that's
like a counter melody.
Yeah.
To love it.
Yeah, for sure. And Uncle John, I really like. It does have like a little bit of progginess, time signature esque. And is it foreshadowing the next Graham Bonnet release? Are we getting a Dream Theater esque album?
I don't know about that. Yeah, we definitely like that time signature. So.
Yeah, I mean it's in 3/4, so it's a waltz basically, and it's hard for people to bang their head to it. You know what I mean? Because most people it's 4/4, boom, 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 boom. You know, with a lot of our songs, you know, they are in 4/4, but 3/4 is jet, jet, jet. You know, 1 2 3, 2 2 3, 1 2 3, and that's not really a head banging song. So that people are kind of going. I see that. I watch their heads. They're going, no, not. Yeah. That's it. They're trying to make up their minds where to actually go. And do other thing. But when it comes to the chorus, that's when they join in. I think mainly because it's still in 3/4, but it doesn't sound like it.
Yeah, such a catchy chorus on that song too. Yeah.
Thank you. I agree.
Yeah. Well, it's always funny confusing the drunks in the crowd, you know, with 3/4. Now, yes. What, would you say, I'm just curious what you think are the most challenging songs to play on this set list. Would you say it's Uncle John?
What do you think?
For me, it's Imposter. It's just really notey and really quick, and I have little teeny tiny hands, so that's it. There's a lot of movement in that song.
Oh, yeah.
How about for you?
I don't know. I can't think of anything that's really. Sometimes.
Since you've been gone?
Sometimes since you've been gone. Because I forget the words. I can't think of anything that I feel uncomfortable with, to be honest. No, it's all sort of, dialed in there, But when we first did Uncle John, I remember, because I was a bit sort of like, where do I come in with the vocal here when we recorded it, because it's got this, it's got this ding ding, this little sweet beginning, this tinkly tinkly piano thing, and then it comes in, and it's like, where do I actually start? I had to do it a few times before I got the one. I was trying to find the one, So, but now it's okay. I know where to come in. I think. I'll forget all the words.
We'll find out tonight.
Yes, I have. Thank you.
So, I want to talk about kind of the future when it comes to touring. You're picking out this Michael Schenker, set list. In general, looking back at your whole career, are there any Graham Bonnet songs that are just strictly off the table?
Oh, no. There's lots of songs I really like from when I was doing solo stuff. There are lots of songs I'd like to do from then. But they're not. You see, the problem is it's not all this. They're not this. They're R&B. They're pop songs, and we might be including "It's All Over Now, Baby Blue," the Bob Dylan song, in our set, because that was a record I brought out in Australia that did really well for me. And when we go to Australia, we have to do that. So it's a different kind of a thing. And there's also another song which is called "Warm Ride," which is a disco song.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Robin Gibb wrote that.
Yeah.
And I was like, no, I can't do that. And it was the number one in Australia.
Yeah.
But not in America, not in England, everywhere but,
Was that the one that was going to be on the Saturday Night Fever soundtrack?
It was,
yeah, we talked about Yeah.
And it would have been great, but this one they had enough,
Yeah, yeah.
So this was written kind of after the movie was almost out,
Now, you've performed, I think we discussed earlier, millions of times. How pressured do you guys feel to outdo every performance?
Do we feel that?
I'm just hoping to survive it.
Hey, what do you say?
I'm just hoping to survive it.
Yeah, I mean, it is. Somebody said to me the other day, I think it was Mike. He said, yeah. It was Mike, our keyboard player. He said, Graham, that's a lot of songs. And because they're all kind of, they're not, hello, they're not gentle. They're full on, most of them anyway. And he said, that's a lot. We do quite a lot. How many songs we got in that set? Is it 12 or 13 or something?
No, it's more than that. It's like 16.
16? And it is a lot because you have to breathe, And I am human, believe it or not. But, it's something you have to think about. So we have breaks where, somebody else, the band will take certain parts of the show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
you have to.
Of course. And I do want to talk about, some of the fans are awesome, they're supporting you forever. What's like the craziest thing a fan's ever done? Just out of curiosity, because
keep it clean.
I've heard some fans are in love with you,
I'll scratch their eyes out. No, I'm just kidding.
This podcast is a warning, by the way.
No. That would be actually very entertaining. I have had, there was this one woman in, I think it was Spain, in Zaragoza. Do you remember that one? She was with her boyfriend too. But she was caressing his legs, and do you remember her?
Whose
she
legs?
Was absolutely
My
you.
legs.
Yeah, she was.
I don't remember that.
Shit-faced.
Really?
Oh yeah, and she was at the front of the stage just rubbing his legs, and I'm just.
Oh yeah.
I was laughing.
Yeah.
I mean.
But nothing untoward usually happens like that, does it? I can't think of anything.
Well, we're also not children anymore.
No.
But, you told me stories when you were younger.
What? What's that?
You can fill in the dots, I guess.
Yeah.
No, I mean,
that's his story to tell. I can't tell that story, but
no, it's all been pretty clean, I think, so far.
Sometimes people say things to me, on social media, "Hey, when you come through, blah blah blah, can I take you out for a drink?" And I'm like, I'm with Bram, right?
Yeah.
And they're like, "Oh no, I didn't." I'm like, "How do you not know that?"
I can see this message, right? I don't know. It's people can be crazy,
Yeah. That's not awful, but I mean, I have to decline. It wouldn't be appropriate.
Well, to wrap this whole thing up, I'll give you guys the floor. What's the future of the Graham Bonnet Band look like? If you want to touch on the next studio record, the next tour going on, you can have the floor.
Okay, well, I can tell you that me and Conrad have put together 2 songs so far, and we have an album to do, so we have a lot of work to do. When we have a break from this, we've got a little time off. But I think Beth-Ami can tell you what's going to happen after that. When we finish the album, which is going to take quite a while, you know that.
Well, I blocked out almost all of July, except for a festival in Germany, a one-off, and August to write and record, because this has to be in by the end of the year. But we also are waiting for that live DVD to come out, which should be any minute.
Oh, yeah, that too, yeah.
And then after that, we're still kicking around the idea of doing a documentary about the life of Graham, which I find fascinating.
I think that'd be excellent. Yeah.
Yeah. So hopefully that'll happen, and we'll just keep on keeping on. We'll just got to keep touring, got to keep recording, got to keep going.
Yeah.
We just have to. We don't have a choice, do we?
No.
It's like a train that can never stop.
Yeah.
It's my job. It's your job. This is all I do. I was a butcher when I was 15, but I thought, nah, not really. I don't want to do this. So I left home when I was 18, and this is all I've been doing ever since, Yeah. And, but I was still a musician back then, but it's just, I never thought I would ever get into the business as such, you know what I mean? I was one of those guys that sat in front of the mirror going, miming to songs, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Of rock and roll, Little Richard or something, doing all that. And I never thought this was going to be a serious job or career. I always thought somebody else did that. They were more special than me. And in some way, I didn't see me as being anything else but just an observer of people who are big and famous. I never saw that coming my way at all. And it didn't.
Well, you've lived like 20 lifetimes at this point. You've tasted out. Like it's such a crazy life, and I'm really excited to see you guys on stage tonight.
Okay. Well,
and
I'm going to watch tonight. I'm not going to be up there. I'm just going to spoil.
Yeah. And I cannot wait for this record. Thank you guys so much for taking the time, to talk to me before the show. I'm Brandon Battick, and this has been Disturbing the Priest.